Welcome to Movies That Move Us. I'm Michael. This is my co-host Mel and my wonderful producer Landon there in the back with his amazing
Happy 250, y'all. 250.
250th anniversary of the United States and July 4th week. So here at Movies That Move Us, we believe that movies are a window into the human experience, and yet they're also a deep look at God's character because he is the greatest storyteller ever. And this week, we are doing an amazing, nostalgic 90s classic, Independence Day, and I am stoked.
Yes, whenever you nominated this one for the list, I was skeptical and very unsure how we were going to get a ton of content out of this, but I think it's a good example that you literally can do this with any film ever made.
You really can.
Because there actually is a ton in here.
There is a ton. And it is full, cheesy, campy 90s goodness, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, nothing screams Independence Day, 4th of July like Aliens. So
Yes.
I thought, hey, let's do a blind ranking of some aliens from various sci-fi movies based on how scary they would be. So this will be a joint effort. I've got 1 through 7. So we're going to rank 7 extraterrestrial type beings based on their fear factor. So working as a team, let's start with the aliens from Independence Day. Obviously, we'll use them as a threshold.
Yeah.
Pretty creepy. I the first time I saw it, I had an audible reaction to seeing.
You did jump.
To seeing the
physically jumped.
aliens.
I don't know. I don't think they're that scary. I mean, I've seen a lot of scary alien movies, but I do think,
They're just more gross than
they
scary.
are kind of gross. Like,
Yeah.
they're gross. I mean, I'd give it a,
Like a 3.
oh, wow. See, I was thinking 4 or 5 range, maybe.
You think there's a lot scarier
I
ones
do
you're
think there's a
thinking
lot
of?
scarier, but
Okay.
I mean, they are creepy.
Okay.
100%. So I'd
I'll
say
test you on the 4. Okay,
I'd go 4.
All right. Putting them at 4. Straight middle of the pack. That's your threshold.
Yes.
All right. Next is The Thing from The Thing.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I mean, have you
Mel,
seen The
that
Thing,
face
Mel?
makes it look like you. I can tell from your face that you
Thank
want
you for
to.
not making me do this on my own. We
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
a team. Michael can carry this one.
And guys, so it's funny. The Thing is The Thing is so gross. Like there's just, it's terrifying, but it's more gross again. But I do think that it's scarier than the Independence Day aliens. So I mean, I'd put it
I'd
at probably 3.
3. All right. You think there's some scarier out there? Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got Rocky from Project Hail Mary.
I love Rocky.
I loved Rocky. Rocky's not scary.
Amaze.
I mean, he's amazing.
I don't know.
I mean, I
Think
don't know if
about
you
it,
have
though.
ET on this list, but
Yeah.
Okay, we know we love Rocky because we've heard Rocky.
but he is a spider.
That's
if
true.
this 5-legged Rocky spider showed up,
If you didn't know he
Okay.
was gonna say amaze.
Yes, that is a different thing. And we don't hear him say amaze. All you hear from him is like, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, this is intense. So,
True.
I mean, I'd probably 5. I'd say 5.
Can you think of less scary ones? I feel
Yes.
like generally aliens are not friendly and are pretty scary.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I don't know what Landon is. I don't know what curveballs Landon
Yeah,
has
he's gonna
back there.
throw
And
us
so let's put him at 6.
Okay.
Rocky at 6. You've got 1. All right, you've got 3, 4, and 6 taken.
Okay.
All right. Next up, you've got E.T.
Okay.
I knew it. I knew E.T.
Yes.
And I think E.T. is literally the friendliest alien
Yes.
ever. So I
But
think
he's kind of like initially he's just kind of like, what are you?
I mean,
But he's not, I wouldn't say that there's any, he doesn't have sharp teeth. Like there's nothing
like,
really scary
it's
about
the
him.
big eyes.
Yeah.
Too. Like eyes are so much about empathy and
Yeah.
like care and like I just
Yeah, I think it's a given that like if you saw an alien, you would scream. Like,
Yes,
everyone always
for sure.
screams. Like even like the kids scream when
Initial.
they see ET, and then like, oh wait, I don't need to scream. I'll just put a hat on you and
And you're
call it a
cute.
day. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 7. 7 for ET.
7 for ET. That was
All
my
right.
plan. Is if ET was on
I gotta
this,
save it for
seven.
ET.
All right, next up, we've got the heptapods from Arrival.
Ooh.
Those are pretty scary, but they're not. The
But
movie
they're-
doesn't hand them as scary ever, though.
Right. It's just like I mean, initially, but that's before you even see the aliens. When the ships land, it's like, what is happening here?
Also, if you've watched the behind the scenes, it shows you what they look like in full, and those are some scary looking aliens, guys.
Because don't they have like little head looking
they have
things
like
at the
they're
top
like
that no one really sees?
what you're seeing in the movie is actually the bottom half of their body.
Legs.
And so then it like shows the top half, and they're this really like long, almost brontosaurus style,
God.
and then their head goes up to this tiny little bulb, and it's like this is scary.
Okay.
It's like, so I mean, they're scary. What do we have taken right now, or what do we have open?
I'm pulling up a photo to
Show Mel.
Let's see.
Like they are
I
scary.
can picture the what like hits the glass and like
Yeah,
what we see actually in the movie, but
These are all artistic. I'll have to find one later, but you have available 1, 2, and 5.
I'd probably put it at 5.
I think so.
Because they're just more like this is uncomfortable and weird.
I'm adding like how friendly they are as
yes,
part of the math.
for sure. They're trying to help humanity, right? Spoilers. Sorry for Arrival.
Yeah.
You gotta go watch Arrival. So 5.
All right. So you got 1 and 2. So these are going to be the top 2 scariest.
I feel like you haven't shared anything really scary yet. So
All right, here we go. The next one is, hang on, I'm trying to decide which one to do first. All right. The Xenomorphs from Alien.
1. I mean, have you seen Alien, Mel?
Michael is really regretting asking me to do this with him.
You have not seen Alien?
I have not seen Alien.
Do you know what a xenomorph is?
I've seen a picture. Yes, I do know. I've seen some scenes. I haven't seen like the whole thing.
Don't feel too badly. I watched Aliens for the first time like 2 weeks ago. So I know. Dang it, I wasn't on you in the tight.
You guys are crazy. Oh my gosh. I just think they're the scariest alien ever made on screen. I think they're for sure the scariest. I mean, there are others that you're like, oh, maybe, but I just think they're hunters. Their blood is acid. I mean, they are like, their mouth opens and then another mouth.
Yes, I have seen that.
And it's just like, they're terrifying. They're absolutely terrifying.
All right.
I'm hoping the last one's like Rocket Raccoon. That's going to be...
That'd be a curveball.
The number 2 scariest alien, according to Michael and Mel, is Chewbacca.
Oh, Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. I'd flop Chewbacca in the Heptapods.
I love Chewbacca.
Probably.
Yes.
Or even actually Independence Day. Swap Chewbacca and Independence Day.
Yeah, because I think so.
Because they're for sure creepy. So
Would you rather come across Chewbacca or E.T.?
Chewbacca.
I don't know. Chewbacca can like rip your arm.
He's big though.
Yeah.
And he doesn't talk regular words either.
Yeah,
So
he's
it's
kind of like scary.
Yeah. But like low key, I would give him a hug.
But that's because you know Chewbacca.
That's true.
right
That's
now.
true.
Like
He's
if
nice.
you didn't know him, you'd be like, "This is Bigfoot, and he's about
That's
to like
true.
rip me apart."
That's true. We would think it was Bigfoot
Yeah,
probably.
Like that's
Maybe
who you would
Bigfoot
think.
is just Chewbacca.
I mean, maybe that is true. You know, galaxy far, far away. The rumor, you guys know the conspiracy that it's like Star Wars is actually set like thousands of years in the past.
Just
It's a lost.
on Earth.
Well, it's just like before.
Interesting.
Like it's like the conspiracy is that the whole Star Wars universe is actually like thousands of years before Earth humanity, essentially, and it's like a lost culture.
That's interesting. Kind of like isn't Lord of the Rings that way?
Yeah, a little bit like that too.
Earth kind of thing, but cool. So, are you happy with the Independence Day aliens at 4, middle of the pack?
Oh, I mean, I think I'd swap them with Chewbacca,
Okay,
probably.
put them higher.
Yeah.
But give a recap as we jump in. Give a recap of the movie for those who haven't seen it, because I saw it for the first time last night.
Same
Yeah,
with
so
us.
like I had these two over to my house. We watched the film. It was awesome seeing them kind of laugh and react to all the amazing 90s-ness. But so if you haven't seen Independence Day, go watch it. It's a good laugh. But essentially it's aliens on July 2nd, like 2 days before Independence Day, aliens come into the Earth and they send out all their ships and they basically mount an attack on Earth. They're
Every
there.
major city.
Every major city gets hit. There's this huge invasion of ships. Now the aliens themselves don't come on to the planet yet, but it's like they are destroying and killing humanity essentially, and humanity is scrambling to try and figure out how do we defeat these aliens. I mean, it is a war action movie essentially against aliens, And there's all of these different like ships and like things that they're trying to figure out, how do we defeat this group of aliens? So, I mean, that's in a nutshell.
Mel, what, as a first-time watcher, what stood out to you?
All the great one-liners.
Yes.
And young Jeff Goldblum.
Young Jeff
We actually
Goldblum.
realized we inadvertently selected 3 Jeff Goldblum movies out of our first like 7.
Yes, he's everywhere.
Out of our first 7 ones to do, but that was fun. And yeah, I thought it was interesting just how because the aliens were so like objectively bad and evil and they were the enemy, I feel like there's a lot less in general conflict between the humans than there usually is in these kind of movies. Like usually a lot of the conflict comes from like, well, the humans can't agree and they're making it worse and blah, blah, blah. But it literally feels like almost everyone is working together for the most part for most of the movie, which I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's like, that's part of the whole thing, right? It's like, how does humanity unify around like defeating this like foe? And I think that's what leads into, right? You have all these different people that we see, all these different characters coming from different spaces, but they're all part of like, how do we defeat the aliens? So they're all the different pieces. It's almost like putting together the team. Like, what's the team that's going to actually defeat the aliens and who's going to solve the puzzle? And you have Jeff Goldblum, who's the science intelligence side, who's trying to figure things out. You have the president who is trying to lead the country and navigate the United States citizens through this. And so there's like so many different angles going on. And you have Will Smith, who's literally just a military pilot who gets thrown into attacking the aliens. And then he kind of gets introduced into the narrative as this hero. And that's where we've kind of landed a lot with this film, is like, you're seeing kind of the exploration of the hero in this movie. And that's a lot of 90s films. I mean, the hero was big in the 90s. Like, who is the hero? I mean, you had you had the Die Hard and the like, all of these things of like, what does a hero look like? And that was, I thought, what stood out to me this time when we're watching it, as we were talking about after, is like, there's lots of people and lots of characters in this where we're seeing them, how do they deal with crisis? Like when the world is being attacked, everything's falling apart, how do leaders react to that? And how are they engaging with each other? How are they engaging with others? How are they making decisions? And so that was kind of the unique thing that really, I think, boiled to the top for us when we were talking. So
yeah, and another thing that really stood out to me just overall was this. I think it fits one of my favorite genres of writing that just makes me really admire just a script and the writing of a film, is when there are multiple characters or groups of characters at the beginning in very different places and you don't know how they all connect, and then slowly seeing them all connect. I think audibly said to Landon at one point, like, I love this. They're all coming together. I'm seeing it. It's so cool. I love it. So that was really fun to see, like, oh, these people start out in LA. These people start out in DC. These people start out in New York, and they all kind of make their way together over various kind of means. And I thought that was really exciting.
Yeah.
But they all do kind of have their own little mini hero arc. Even like Will Smith's girlfriend, who is just kind of like, in any other movie would be like a C tier character, but she actually like is super important and saves the vice president. I mean, the first lady.
First lady. Yeah. Let's dig into that even a little bit more. It's like, so we have we have the main characters, which are like the president, Will Smith, and then Jeff Goldblum, essentially. Like, those are kind of the 3 mains. Obviously, Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum are like the key guys, but the president also is there as well. So let's like dig into them. Like, so let's look at, the president first, for example. So you have this president, and his character in the film is like, they set him up very quickly. You're like, this is basically like a very weak president almost. They're like, oh, he kind of got chosen maybe for all the wrong reasons. He's not even a great leader, but like, oh, he served in the military, so they kind of use that to get him elected.
He's young and fresh.
And he doesn't know how to handle anything, right? He doesn't know how to handle certain situations. And then he gets thrown into having to make the hardest decisions of anybody in the entire movie. And so I love that idea of like, what do we do when we're thrown into situations that we can't control or we feel like are out of control? Because I feel like in our lives, like that is life, right? Life is dealing with crisis. Like that's kind of the reality and I think today too, it's interesting play that we can kind of touch on is like, today, it's almost like, how can I avoid crisis at all costs, right? And we try to make our life safe, like we try to control. We've kind of talked about control in some of our other shows. And it's like, we try to set up our lives where we're not going to have to deal with anything dangerous, anything crazy. But that's not life. Like, that's not the world. Like, the world is dangerous and scary and hard. And you're going to have hard things that come at you. And then it's like, who am I surrounding myself with? Where am I going to in terms of wisdom to make decisions? And the president is very interesting in this movie because he has lots of people around him to help him make decisions. But as we see in the film, he's put some bad people around him to make decisions. So he has these military guys and the CIA who are just constantly giving him bad advice, like throughout the whole movie, like every turn.
Yeah, I was gonna say that next was there's this element of who are you going to trust to kind of stick with you and advise you when you don't know, when you don't have a clear idea or a clear vision for what you're going to do. Like, whose advice are you going to trust?
Totally.
Or even consider trusting. Yeah. And he has kind of put these people around him, either on purpose or on accident, who end up being motivated largely by fear, by self-preservation, and just like, hey, let's just nuke everyone. And like, that's the answer to everything. Just nuke everything.
Yeah.
Which the nuking doesn't even work. So it's not a good idea.
Yeah. Right. They test that later in the movie and it doesn't work. And it's like, oh, that would have killed like millions of people.
If the city hadn't been cleared out already.
Yeah.
So, but he eventually, the president comes to his senses and it realizes like, hey, I need to trust kind of my gut or some people who are proving themselves, who maybe weren't, like Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum both come to him and have better ideas that are motivated differently and from better reasons. Right. And he decides like, I'm going to trust these like quote unquote nobodies over my main guys who are kind of leading me astray and not being trusted advisors. And
it's interesting even about like Goldblum and Will Smith's characters, right? Like they come in like the president and Jeff Goldblum's character, like they have beef in the past, right? It's like they've literally fought like physically because of
the president.
Yeah, like because of Jeff Goldblum's wife is working for the president. So there's all this old baggage there, but there comes a point where Jeff Goldblum's character, like he is the voice of truth. Like he's trying to bring it and go, look, I know what's going on here and you need to listen. And even his dad, right, is his awesome Jewish dad who is like very bold and like funny. I know Landon was loving all the one-liners from the dad. So it's like so good. But he comes in, he's like, listen to my David. You know, he's like, you got to listen to truth, who knows? And then Will Smith comes in as well with more truth of going, I have interacted now with the aliens. Like he's the only pilot that takes down an alien ship and he opens up doors to knowledge, to making the right decisions. And so it's so interesting that we make decisions through either fear and emotion or sometimes being informed and like really thinking through like, how do I make a decision in light of crisis and how do I navigate it? And that's kind of the true leadership and heroes.
Yeah. And on that note, like, how do you think the death of his wife played a part? Like, did you see a narrative correlation between, his wife died and that's kind of what got him over the edge to get back in the plane at the end? Yeah. Or was that a little bit of a lost?
So interesting. The death of his wife is really interesting. Obviously spoilers. I mean, his wife passes away, the president's wife. But what I think that at least I saw push, I mean, so in the movie, the president, he gives maybe one of the best, it's such a great speech. Such a good, like hearty, inspiring speech. Like this will no longer be known as like the United States Independence Day. It's like a global holiday. And I think that his wife helped solidify that element of being the leader that he is. Like, I think that it pushed him into being that leader, because I think he still was operating from this space of like, how do I navigate this, and feeling unsure and unconfident. And I think that the death of his wife really pushed him into a space of going, I need to act and be the leader that I know that I am. And so I think it was just that they used that in the movie, I think, to motivate him of stepping into those shoes and being confident as a leader.
Yeah. And that's the most distinct like relationship from, I think, the other two relationships with Smith and Goldblum. So I don't know, what about their character arcs stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I just think the interesting thing about Will Smith's arc is like, he goes from being this kind of like, he's very disconnected, right, to everything. He doesn't have a lot of purpose, honestly. Like, his purpose is duty in the film. He's serving his duty. But then as the movie progresses, it becomes less duty and more like he feels like he's a part of something that he has basically been chosen to, like, he's there for a reason as well. Like, it's interesting. He finds his purpose through this conflict. And so his purpose was duty. And now his purpose at the end of the film is service and serving humanity, like stepping in. Like, that's the idea for me, is the hero is like, when do you step up? Like, when do you decide? And you even talked about it with his girlfriend. It's like, what does a hero really look like? It's stepping up to the need.
Yes.
Like, if there's a need, how do I serve that need? The girlfriend is like helping people, saving people. And so a hero, sometimes I think we look at it and it's a little bit distorted of like, oh, the hero saves the day.
Loudest.
Or the loudest and the biggest. And yes, the hero saves the day, but I think that's a nuance that we need to talk about. It's like, it's more of who is the person that does what is right and what is needed and like steps in and serves others and doesn't serve themselves.
Yeah. And I think that's most shown by Will Smith's girlfriend when like she helps the first lady, but she's like, yeah, I voted for the other guy, you know, like, and I mean, it's 25 years later and I wasn't alive when this came out. So I wasn't sure, like, you know, the political tensions then, but like now that would be like, I mean, you know, that feels like very polarizing right now, no matter which way you land. But I don't know. I think like loving your enemies and like the world coming together to stop the big bad aliens, like there's something about that that's just, you know, refreshing of like, hopefully it doesn't take an alien attack to bring the world together and political parties to, you know, find common ground. But I thought that was a really powerful character moment from his girlfriend. So
yeah, and I also think I would be remiss to not mention Cousin Eddie as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So Randy Quaid is also in this movie.
Goodness.
And I've seen Christmas Vacation enough times to recognize him like the minute he came on screen, even though he had like a hat and goggles and was like drunk. Maybe I need to watch Christmas Vacation less and like Alien more. But anyways, so he also kind of has this really interesting situation where he is basically a social pariah because he's always drunk. Even when he's flying planes, and he has this backstory where he claims that he was abducted by aliens 10 years ago and then returned to Earth. Yeah. And everyone kind of thinks he's literally insane. But he has these 3 kids that he is the sole caretaker of, it seems. And so he just kind of also ends up being a part of this fight. And he ultimately is one of the main ways they're able to take down the aliens. He literally, spoiler, sacrifices himself to fly his plane into the main ship in DC or New York, wherever they are at the time, and explode it. Because the missiles weren't working and they're all out of missiles, and his missile jams. He's like, I got a missile, it's called this plane, and he just flies it up into as the alien's about to shoot down. And for him it was like this arc of like revenge, because he, you know, now it's more believable that he was abducted by aliens years ago. Totally. But also he's like, I need to leave behind like a legacy, and this is the way I can protect my children and everyone else, even the people, which is most people, who have like shunned me, made fun of me, like slandered me on national television. Like, all this stuff. And so I think he also is a really interesting, again, in any other movie, I think this is a unique, like very strong ensemble cast where it almost feels like there's like A characters and B characters, and like not there. You don't go much lower than that. Like everyone is like really fleshed out. It feels like so.
Even Boomer.
What'd you say?
Even Boomer.
Even Boomer. Oh, the dog.
Yes.
So Boomer. That green screen shot of him flying, like,
jumping out of the flames was maybe
so
my
good.
favorite shot
So
in that
good.
film.
Oh, so good. I do think like he's a very interesting character in terms of like his motivation, right? Like as a character is, as you said, at the end, he's leaving a legacy, but he's really this really flawed, broken person, right? And that's where I want to focus in on a little bit is like, even though he's flawed and broken and is messed up, at the end of the day, he steps into the need and he sacrifices himself. And so that's a very parallel to like God and us, right? It's like God uses flawed people. And I think that's a super good parallel to the Bible for us to just start talking about scripture a little bit here, is because the reality is that all of us are flawed. We're flawed. Like none of us are perfect, but we still have the ability to respond to the call, like to lead and to do what's right, or to serve, or to sacrifice. Like we can do that even though we're flawed. I think a lot of times we look at God and we're like, oh, like I can't have a relationship with God. I'm too broken. I'm too messed up. Like I make too many mistakes. Like we're very hard on ourselves. And this is a good picture of that. And like a great parallel in scripture is like the character of Moses. Like so if you've heard the story of Moses, you may know who Moses is. If you don't, he was a early leader of the Israelites that was chosen by God. And in Exodus 3 and 4, like he's called and he doesn't want it. He like denies. He tells God, no, thanks. Like God comes and it's like, hey, I need you to lead my people out of slavery. Like the Israelites are enslaved by the Egyptians. And it's like, I want you to go in and like bring these people out. And he's like, no, thanks. That's not me. It's like interesting, right?
Yeah. And what's interesting about it, I think, is part of the reason why he says no thank you is because he feels like he's not qualified. He's like, exactly. I'm too old. I think he's like 80.
He's got a speech impediment.
Yeah, he has like a lisp or a stutter. And he's like, I can't stand up and give all these speeches. Like, I think you need to pick someone else. Like, it's not that he's just like shirking responsibilities. It's like, I don't feel qualified for this. Absolutely. Like, I am just a regular person. I'm a nobody. I'm even like below average. Like, I don't know why you're picking me.
He says you need to pick my brother Aaron, who in The Prince of Egypt is played by
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Amazing.
I love it.
But yeah, so God kind of like, it's like, okay, Aaron can do the speeches, but you're going to do everything else. Like you tell him what to say and then he can say it. Totally. So I almost mentioned this earlier too, when we were talking about when the president kind of looks at Will Smith's character and Jeff Goldblum's character and decides to kind of listen to them and trust them. It feels similar to Moses kind of trying to come and lead these people, because Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum's characters both they're privy to a piece of information or like some sort of knowledge that the general public doesn't have. And it kind of parallels this kind of direct line of communication that Moses had with God that like no one else at the time really had. Totally. And even though they were flawed people, they had something that could contribute and was necessary to kind of solve the problem. Totally. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like interesting, even looking at Moses' whole life, it's like he still was flawed, even after being chosen. Even after being chosen by God, Moses is flawed. You see him do these great, amazing things, but then also later he is banned from entering the promised land because of his actions, before God. And so like, you go read the story of Moses. It's an incredible story of leadership, of brokenness, of what it looks like to walk with God, even though you're a broken person. And like, it's interesting when we look at the whole Bible, even the scope of the Bible, God continually chooses to use people. Like he wants to use us. And that's what I love about Independence Day is like, we're seeing like in this movie, there is a crisis and they have to act and they have to learn how to respond. And they all step into that space, even though they're all flawed. Like they all have flaws, they're all broken, but they're still used to save the day. And that's so similar to how God is with us, I think. It's like God wants to use us. He wants to have a relationship with us. And it's really about saying yes to God. It's like, like God is just, it's not about doing anything. It's just about saying yes. It's about saying, yes, I want you to use me. God's going to do incredible stuff with all of us. I think we all believe that. Like God has a plan for all of us. And it's whether or not you're saying to yourself, do I want to be a part of it? Like, do I want to step into it and actually walk with God? And you don't need any qualifications. There's no qualifications there. It's just a yes.
Yeah. And to go back to like taking this theme and connecting it to Cousin Eddie, I don't remember what his character name was. He's just going to be Cousin Eddie. Yeah, something like but it's like, I don't know about y'all, but my life is fairly mundane. Like I don't have the opportunity to fight aliens, and so but in a way, there are moments that feel pivotal in a micro fashion. Like I think about when I have conflict with someone and like I want to say hurtful things, and like it is truly only because I have a relationship with the Lord that he can help me in those moments to have peace and speak kindness instead. And I don't think we can overlook those moments. Like it's easy to say like, oh, like I'm not doing all these big things for God, or I'm not doing, A, B, and C. But it's like, no, when you step into a relationship with God, it starts with walking before running. And I think those little moments with the Lord are tremendously impactful, at least in my life. And so there's nothing that's too mundane. Was just kind of my thought with that.
Oh, I love it. I love the grounding of it all, right? It's like, it's sometimes it's hard in the movies, right? It's these big, massive moments, but like walking with God is the day-to-day and it is the small things.
Yeah, that's super good, Landon. I think that is where I personally find the girlfriend character so interesting, because she, in the grand scheme of things, probably does the least to save the world.
Saves the world, for sure.
But the things that she does are so impactful. Like even before she really realizes the scope of the situation, she kind of tries to talk her friend out of like going to this welcoming the aliens party on a roof, because she's like, that's probably not a safe choice. Like she's like kind of using those everyday interactions to kind of try to protect people, help people. And she like obviously also like has been looked down on in her life because of her profession. Like she, as she says to the first lady, she's like, oh, I'm an exotic dancer.
Movies and Movies does not condone exotic dancing.
And the first lady's like, oh, I'm sorry. And she says, I'm not. Like, she's like, it's just kind of part of her life. But she kind of steps into this bigger role, and she drives this truck across the country and like picks up people who've been hurt and just brings them to help. And she kind of has one of the smaller roles. Like she doesn't fly a plane, she never shoots a missile, like she never makes a call, she never pushes a button, but she ends up being super pivotal. And she's one of the more like regular people. Like but she kind of steps into this, and I think that kind of speaks into the really like the day-to-day, like the micro scale of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're like kind of, as we kind of are wrapping up, it's like thinking about this idea of like the choices we make, right? That's a choice. She's making a choice, an active choice to help. And even the president at the end, or a president at the end, we were kind of talking about this, right? The end of the movie, the president steps and goes and flies a plane. Like he's the leader of the free world, right? He's like leading everyone, but pilots are needed, and he's like, I'm a pilot, I'm gonna serve. And he takes his jacket off or whatever, and he goes and he gets in a plane and joins the fight. And so that's ultimately what I would say to our watchers and listeners. Like when you're thinking about all these things that we're talking about, like what would it look like for you to take your next step in the fight, right? And I think the fight is like what does it look like to walk with God? I think that's for us. That's the daily fight. They call it the race in the Bible, like running the race. It's like, what does it look like to walk with God and run with God through life? And it is a fight. It's a day to day. It's not something, I think sometimes we glamorize it, and however you're impacted and experiencing Christianity and Christians, it can look sometimes like this, like really intense thing, but it's like, it's more soft and quiet and day to day of walking with Jesus, knowing who he is, loving God, loving others. We've talked about that. And so I would challenge you, watchers and listeners, to start exploring what that could look like. So if you're really wanting to explore a relationship with Jesus and figure out what that looks like, we have links down below that you can check out. Go check them out. Go to scripture, start reading about Jesus, read the gospel. It's like, there's so many different ways. Comment to us, drop a comment down below and say that you're wanting to know more about Jesus, and we can get you the resources that you need to grow.